Hi, I'm Dave Bundy, editor of the Lincoln Journal-Star, and this is our editorial board endorsement interview with Chris Hove, running for the Airport Authority. Chris, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Before we turn this over to you to do most all the talking, we'll have our other community or other editorial board member introduce himself. I stole your thunder. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, Chris knows me. Hi, Chris. Mike James, community member and newest member of the editorial board.
Congratulations, Mike.
I think it's congratulations, although some editorial board meetings are more painful than others. But this one's going to be a fun one. So, Chris, to start us off, Airport Authority is not the highest profile public service job in the state. Why do you want to do it? And then what experiences and attributes qualify you for it? And just as kind of a, any bragging you want to do on yourself, this is a perfect opportunity.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Appreciate the opportunity to visit with everyone and appreciate the consideration. Just a little bit about me, born and raised in Minden, Nebraska, graduated from high school and came to Nebraska, University of Nebraska, graduated from there and then went into the Navy for about 10 years, served in the Navy, active duty, and then came back to Nebraska, lived in Omaha, then Kearney, and now I've been in Lincoln for about 20 years. Been a banker for the last 30 years. To answer your question directly, Dave, why do I want to do this? I've been a service guy all my life. I served in the Navy. I've served on many nonprofit boards. I actually served on the Airport Authority board for a period of time before, and then was appointed to the Planning Commission by Mayor Beitler. Served on that for about 7 years, and I always feel that's an obligation to somebody, and so I tried to do that. As far as experience, I think I can add value to the Airport Authority right away, having served on the Airport Authority board in the past. Also my experience with nonprofits and being in leadership roles there. I was on the LPS Foundation board. I was the chairman of that. I've been the chairman of the Nebraska Bankers Association. So whether it's giving back to the industry that I'm involved in or giving back to the community, I think that's a big part of what people should be doing. And that's really about it. It's not a stepping stone. It's not something that it's just, I think it's important to do.
All right. So, well, having served on the Airport Authority, you know a fair amount. Do you have any new ideas or changed perspectives that you want to contribute to the Airport Authority board now?
Well, I think that, Dave, the Airport Authority has started some really neat programs, but we need to follow through on those and make sure that they provide long-term success for the airport and for the Lincoln community. I love the ideas that they've come up with as far as the air service, but that has to be viable for the long term, and we can't just use funds from other areas to supplement that. So we've got to make that work, for the community. I like what we've done as far as air cargo, trying that as well. There's some neat things going on over on the air park side with Timpty and their construction. I guess one thing that I did mention in the article in the Journal-Star was the not that I would sell land that the airport owns, or but I know that there are some organizations that would like to control their destiny better and own own that land, and that would be available any other place, most other cities. You can own land close by the airport, and so that's something I'd like to research and look into. Not that I don't know if I can accomplish that, but that's something to consider if there are companies that really want to do something like that. I'd like us to consider that.
All right, well, you may have noticed Kent Wolgamott sneaked up behind me while we were there. So Kent is our entertainment writer and has been on the editorial board for 12 years. I did a pretty good job of introducing you.
Got my introduction down.
That's exactly what he would have said if he'd been here on
I
time.
think I got it. I got the last time you were. I was interviewing this way. So.
All right, well, Chris, my next question for you, you in that last answer, you sort of skipped ahead to a couple others, so you may have cause to amplify them, but the airport recently landed another passenger carrier. You sort of mentioned the short-term use of ARPA funds and needing sort of long-term, needing to be able to sustain things for the longer term. So in your mind, what has to happen to sort of as permanently as you can in this industry, increase the number of flights and destinations available from the Lincoln Airport?
Well, I think that bottom line is the community has to endorse that, and that has to start using that. And you know, that's a unique way of adding flights. It's not it's not every day. It's every few days. But the community really has to look at that and say, this is a way for us to, utilize the Lincoln Airport. And I just, I hope that we can market that. I hope that we can get the word out on that. I hope that we can have consistent flights. The one thing I think that we really need to show is the focus on customer experience and customer care at the Lincoln Airport, and we have to provide service that's second to none. It's easy for folks. Omaha is used routinely. They've got it down. They have so many passengers going through there. We really have to create that same type of experience, whether it's checking in at the counter or going through TSA. We've got to create an experience that people go, oh, I just love going through the Lincoln Airport. And then we have to follow through and have consistent flights that people say, yeah, I can depend on this. I can get to where I want to go. And I love the experience going through Lincoln.
Well, you touched on this next one a little bit when you talked about the land ownership around the airport, and that being a potential hurdle. What do you think are the next logical steps for the industrial park aspect of the airport's operation?
Well, Dave, I've always been one. I mean, there's so much land there that's unused, and we really need to build that more. I've always been one to think that governmental type of entities would be a perfect fit there. Obviously the airport authority doesn't pay real estate taxes, and so if we could attract whether it be state government, county government type of entities there, then you're really not adding or subtracting from the real estate tax base. If that's not available, we also then need to pursue other companies. Tempe is a new one that's going to be building a very large complex out there. But we need to make that. You think about that. You've got air service, you've got some rail service right there, and you've got very good highway service right by that. And so we need to promote that and make that available to folks.
All right. So you mentioned Omaha, that's a larger airport with Omaha right there, offering so many flight options. What do you think is the right play for Lincoln's Airport in terms of marketing and positioning? I mean, we've talked about vacation destinations, what, just being close for Lincoln people. What do you think is the right move there?
Well, right now, really appreciate what United's done. They've been consistent. They've been there, through thick and thin. We've had them for years and years. But the fact is, you got 2 direct flights. You've got Denver and you got Chicago. We need to really expand that, and whether it be through United or some other carrier, we need to have a southbound, down to Texas in some location down there. And obviously we've got the new carrier coming in that will provide some of that, but it's the business traveler really is a big part of getting consistent routine flights, and so if we can find a way to get more flights, whether it be down to Texas or Atlanta, those are the direct flights that we really need to focus on. And we say, well, Lincoln's more convenient. It is in a way, because it's 10-15 minutes from your house, but the fact is if you have to go through Denver or Chicago to get anywhere, then you're really not saving as much time. And so we've got to find more direct flights that are convenient for the business traveler.
All right, Chris. Well, if you were wondering, you are a very fast answerer of questions. So we're on close to record pace, and this is where ordinarily I've got a screen and I can see Kent move lunge forward like he's going to ask a question. It's going to look like he's stabbing me in the back, but I think he's got a question. So Kent,
Yeah, what is it that Lincoln can do to attract another, a Delta or pick one, Southwest, that would get more direct flights? Is there something that needs to be done on the Lincoln end of things to be able to get those airlines to say, we'll fly to Lincoln, in and out of Lincoln, as well as Omaha?
Yeah, I think with this legislation that was approved that allows us to use some of the funding from Air Park over, I think that's what primes the pump essentially, that allows us to try those new flights. And so we've got to find, okay, where is it that people are going to, and then, prime the pump with, bringing, giving them some guarantees, and then starting to use those flights. And then it's up to the Lincoln customer base. It's up to the community to say, yeah, I'm going to use that. I find that it's consistent. It's what I want. It's easy. I'm going to fly through Lincoln. And so I think that's what allows us to kind of start that conversation, and allows us to get those airlines into Lincoln.
I've landed in Omaha at 10:30 at night with a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I think that's a really good market. Nobody wants to drive in the middle of the night with 2 screaming kids. But anyway, why did you niche? Were you done?
I totally.
Oh, I was just going to ask if you had any thoughts about what city. I know you said South. As somebody who often goes to Texas, I would appreciate that. But is that where you think the demand is, or would be, for like to Texas, or to for the direct flights?
I think that's probably our best bet, Kent. I think that you go to the population, because you're going to get more back and forth travel there. There's other options, obviously. Phoenix. There's Minneapolis now, although Minneapolis is going to be served by this new carrier. Atlanta, but I think that to me, Texas is if you don't have a direct flight to Texas, it sure doesn't make a lot of sense to have to fly to Chicago or to Denver and then fly down to Texas. I mean, that's hard to do for people.
Having done the Denver to Texas route multiple times, it's not fun.
Mike,
Yeah.
did you have any questions?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, well, I think if Ken,
I'm done.
then we're on to my last question, which is sort of your open-ended closing statement, Chris. We frame it this way, but you can go any direction you like. What have we not asked you that you really wish we would have?
Dave, I just first off want to thank everybody for the opportunity, and I would be honored if I get the endorsement of the paper. It mean a lot to me. I just think, you know, I can add immediate value to the airport authority with my experiences, having been a banker, having been, you know, in the military, served in the military, having an aviation background. And I think that's really what they need right now is with all these different projects going on, there needs to be some oversight to say, you know, how are we doing? Let's set up some metrics to say, what is success here? How are we going to do this? And you know, is this truly going to help the community, the Lincoln community for the long haul? You know, we can try these things, but if they don't work long term, it's not gonna work out. So that's what I think I have to offer is being able to add value, you know, immediately. You know, you know my background and my experience. I don't think I have any skeletons in the closet. This isn't a you know, a stepping stone for me. I'm too old for that. So anyway, I would appreciate the support.
All right, well, thank you. I thought I was gonna have to turn around and give Kent the Heimlich maneuver live on video.
I'm alive.
That would have gone viral, almost certainly.
That'd be a great video to.
All right, well, Chris, we thank you so much for your time today and your answers, your willingness to serve, and we wish you the best on May 2nd.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye-bye.